I was coming home yesterday on the bus, and this guy got on, like full on cowboy, like he had the whole fit, and he got on the bus, and not like a obviously not like a real cowboy, like a Western cowboy. Like this was a Vancouver cowboy, like bejazzled hat, you know, flowy open shirt. You could see the abs and all that. Like he looked like he's never touched a horse in his life, but he had the attire. You know, he had the fun pink hat and all that, and he just sat on the bus on a Monday night, and I just rode the entire hour long distance with him downtown. And I was just like curious, like, what are you doing on a Monday night going out with a bedazzled cowboy hat at like 22 years old? Like, what kind of place in your life do you have to be at where that's the move? And listen, I've worn my fair share of bedazzled cowboy hats. You know, I've like taken them. I don't own one, all right, but I've definitely, like we all have. Like you take them from someone and you put it on. You got the fun hat. You know. Hopefully, this is a universal experience. I feel like it is. But I got off, and he just got off, and he went home. I just followed him. I didn't follow him to his apartment. Okay, I was just walking home, and I did get off on the stop that he got off, and I did to see where he was going, but I didn't do it because I was like gonna follow him home. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk to my house, my apartment, and if he just happens to go that way, I'll see where he goes. And that being said, I did take a little bit of a detoured route home than I usually do, but I did not follow him home. He ended up just going back to his apartment. And just to be alone with the bedazzled hat, you got to be with people if you're wearing the pink. If you're a guy wearing a pink cowboy hat, you got to be around other people. When you just see that on a standalone outside on the bus on a Monday night, he's definitely working a minimum wage. That's minimum wage activity for sure. All right, welcome back to another episode of A Can of Beans. This is episode 3. I can't believe it, man. The response has been amazing. I think I have 3 total views across both episodes. 3 of those have been mine, and so it's looking good. And I'm feeling confident about the success of this. This is gonna go. It's going big, because it's different, man. No one does it. No one's doing this. Comedian, trying to do a podcast, innovating the industry, if you will, changing it, shaking it up, breaking it back down. Yeah, my week has been a bit crazy. Did a lot of stand up. I don't know if I talked about this on the last one. I don't think I did, but I was at a stand up show, and I was like bullet. I was like first to go up, and I went up. And it's like at this like comedy restaurant place, and so it was like the beginning of the show, and so the waitress was going around, and she was taking everyone's order, and I was like, oh great, she's like talking to everyone, you can like hear, and I'm just trying to make my joke, and I'm like, you hear about this, and she's just trying to do my jokes, and she's talking, and I'm just like, it's not her fault, she's doing her job. But I like this guy in front of me, he was talking, and so I was like to the waiter. Which, to be fair, now that I look back, I was like, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong, but I was like, hey, this is kind of meta. I'm just describing like a crowd kind of a crowd work moment. But it was quite funny because I was talking to him, and when he was talking to the waiter, I also probably shouldn't have done it. I took a bunch of his fries, took a little snack, took a little fries, and then he ended up holding up his burger for me to take a bite of, and I was like, oh, I'm vegetarian. And then throughout the night, in my head, in the moment, this was much more funny. This was a way funnier experience, but yeah, it doesn't really sound that funny. But yeah, it was funny because I just would like do a joke, and if he laughed, he would give me a fry. We had this whole thing going down every single time I do a joke. I need to be recording my sets. Not that this is like some like groundbreaking like Matt Rife like crowd work moment or whatever, Andrew Schultz, anything like that. But I did finish the set off. He did feed me a fry. He came up on stage and he fed me fries. Yeah. So I'm Yeah, that's about the extent of my comedy career right there. It was probably the highlight. Yeah, it was sweet because it was a highlight. It was a highlight for sure because I just hadn't eaten all day. But yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Yeah, I also saw this guy yesterday at this convenience store that I go to. He came in super drunk and he paid for his stuff. Like he definitely got overcharged. He bought like an Arizona for I think $5, like the tea. The cans that say like $1.50 on it. I watched him take out a 10 and he got a 5 back, and I was like, oh my god, this guy just got absolutely bamboozled. They got him, as these convenience stores do when you're drunk. But I was like, oh my god. And then he just left the store with the can of Arizona on the counter, which is like a total different level of being fucked up. That you were so drunk that you drop $5 on Arizona, don't even bat an eye and go, hey, there's literally a price tag embedded on the can. That's like the whole marketing standpoint. First of all, they used to be 99 cents. We all know that. Now they're like $1.50 or $1.29 or whatever. It's ridiculous. But to spend $5 on Arizona, walk out the store and leave without it. And obviously I did the right thing. I grabbed it and drank it myself. Because you can't, if you're gonna spend that much money on Arizona, at least someone's got to have it. No, I didn't have it. I went and brought it. Back to him. But I was like, "What are you?" I was like, asked him. I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You left your thing. It's like half a month's rent. It's not half a month's rent, but it's a lot of money to spend on Arizona, man. Dark places to be. Actually, not dark places to be. He's probably doing so well, man. He probably just spent a ton of money at some place. He doesn't even care. $5 for an Arizona is nothing. He's just used to spending $15 on shots. So inflation's got his mind all messed up where it's like, $5 on a drink, that's nothing. That's nothing. I just bought a round of shots for $100 at a club that only had people that were over the age of 30 in. He probably had a crazy weekend. Not me just thinking about this guy. Yeah. No, things have been pretty. It's really nice. Oh my fucking god! I was literally just about to go talk about the weather for a second. I was gonna be like, oh, things in Vancouver, the weather hasn't been that bad in the past bit, which is true. But I'm not gonna talk about the weather. I got a fucking bagel yesterday. One of the worst experiences of my entire life. Everything about it was awful. It ruined the rest of my day, and it's because when I got in, they didn't. Okay, first of all, you should never be ordering a bagel at like 5 p.m. Like I was going to this cafe. It was at school. It was Blue Chip, and is this cafe? It's like a student-run, kind of funded cafe. And I get this bagel, and they're out of bagels. No, sorry, they're not out of bagels. But I went to go order a bagel, and they didn't have everything bagel, which immediately pissed me off. And I'm not like a basic bitch or anything like that just only gets everything bagels. I'm not like that. I mean it's bread. It's a bagel. Like if they don't have everything bagel, I'll get the poppy seed bagel. There's not much different. They're both gluttonous, squishy pillows of bread. Bread is good regardless. There's no. Obviously there's a hierarchical, like there's a tier list of bread, but I feel like bread is the one food that could just not be in its prime state and we will still eat it. Like I could think of like many times where I have like woken up in the middle of the night, stood on the counter and just chowed down on a stale loaf of bread. Like you can eat bread kind of in any state unless it's moldy. And obviously it's better when it's like squishy and you can like, it's soft and whatnot, but I mean we literally toast bread and like make it stale, kind of. I don't know if that really makes sense. That being said, like I said, stale bread, I'll eat stale bread every single day. I've never had a stale piece of bread and been like, no, this is going to the garbage. I'm gonna fucking eat it. Have you ever eaten like a week old baguette? Some of the best experiences, like just crumbs falling everywhere. And obviously I would prefer like a nice sourdough bread with some peanut butter and jelly with some cinnamon and banana on it. But personally, I would eat any kind of bread. Like, yeah, I would even eat a fully burnt piece, fully blackened piece of bread covered in cancer. I don't even scrape it off with a knife. I'll just eat it. I don't discriminate. I don't see color when it comes to bread. I just take it down. I don't see color or texture. Doesn't matter. Charred, I'll eat it. You know. I know, and this is not a unique thing at all, because I know that everyone listening to this, the 3 people that I have that listen to my podcast, which is really just me watching my episodes to see if they upload correctly on YouTube. I know everyone else also does this. I'm like 99% sure. I'm pretty sure everyone's doing this. So yeah, I don't just like. So what I'm trying to say, I don't just like everything bagels. I'm not like, oh my god, they don't have like the everything bagel. What am I gonna do? It's just, it's the best bagel. It's the one to get. I mean, it's everything bagel. Okay, you want to get a sesame bagel? That's just like a quarter of an everything bagel. An everything bagel is a sesame bagel with it's all of them in one. And they're the same price. That's like if you went to a car dealership and they were like, hey, you want this 2010 RAV4, and it has its back tires blown out, and it's 10 grand, or you can have this new car, brand new. It's got the back wheels, which are kind of essential. It's also $10,000. You take the fucking thing with all the bells and whistles. Not that the bells and whistles of the car are 2 working tires. I mean, this should be a given. Should have like a sunroof. It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is that, it's like getting 4 in 1. You get all the bagels. Anyway, but yeah, this place didn't have the everything bagels. I had to go sesame. I had to get the sesame bagel. But which is obviously, like I was saying, it's bread. It's still good. But when you've got an everything bagel mindset, you've got that locked in. You're like leaving. Like I was leaving class, and I was like, I'm about to get a fucking everything bagel. I'm about to cream cheese. I had the everything mind bagel on my mind. And then you get there, and all of a sudden you kind of have the downgrade to the sesame bagel. It's still good, but it's just like, it messes you up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get a piece of pizza on my way home, and you're absolutely pumped. You're like, oh my god, I'm about to go get pizza, and then you end up getting there, and it's not there, and it's closed. So you just have to go home and eat a spoon of peanut butter. Your peanut butter still fucks so hard, one of the best foods in the entire world. But when you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was just kind of throwing a curveball, I was just throwing a curveball. And also, like I was saying, it was 5 p.m. The bagel was, stale and all. And they also skimped on the cream cheese. It was like a thin layer of cream. And I hate, obviously, when you ration the cream cheese, it's like, it ruins the whole experience. I opened up this bag, take out the bagel out of the bag. They're absolutely skimped on the cream cheese. Like we're in the Great Depression and we're rationing out here. And when you spend $5 on a bagel, which I feel like is so, common. Like, oh yeah, $5 for a cream cheese bagel. I'm just so used to inflation that I'm like, that's a normal price. And the only reason I know that now is because I went to Tim Hortons the other day for the first time in a long time. And I'm not like a Tim Horton warrior. Okay, I'm not a Tim Horton titan or anything that lives and dies and breathes by this shit. Because Tim Hortons is the most mid thing about Canada ever. Tim Hortons for people that come to Canada and think they want to experience Canada, and that's what the only thing good at Tim Hortons are like the Timbits. It doesn't matter. But I went to Tim Hortons, and I just was looking inside. I didn't go to Tim Hortons. I was like walking by. It was more of like a drive-by, look at the menu kind of thing. Bagels there are like $3 or like $2. They're like something ridiculously cheap. Everything out there is like way cheaper than everything else. And I guess that makes sense. I don't go there often, or I don't go to these places. I like to get my bagels from, like the really like the hipster places where people with the fucking, that wear the hats above the ears hang out. Those places have just better bagels, but you got to pay the premium if you want to hang out in a cafe that's covered in a bunch of, plants and it's got a brick wall. You gotta pay the price. But you get used to spending $5. And I don't buy a lot of bagels, but I paying $5 bagel and they skimp on the cream cheese, rationing it, putting thin layers so thin you can see the bagel underneath it. It should be a. And listen, it's like it was like a skinny bagel. You know, it was like a, it felt like I was eating. I felt like I was dieting. You know, I'm not trying to be fat or anything, and like trying to eat unhealthy. It's just when you're getting a bagel, I mean, it's bread and like fatty cheese. It's like two of probably the worst things that you could probably have. Just like straight up cheese, full of fat, bread, nothing but carbs, tons of calories. All right, I'm not eating this because it's a health decision. If I wanted to, I would go get. I would drink a coffee. If I went, I would go drink a coffee, and I would suppress my appetite all day and not eat. If I wanted to be healthy, that's what I would do. No, I'm getting. If I'm getting a bagel, I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm expecting to eat a fucking bagel with a monstrous amount of cream cheese in the middle. It just felt like I was eating some health bagel. Stupidest shit ever when they do that as well. When they try to make like unhealthy foods healthy to make you feel good. Just have healthy foods. Like, we've got salad and all these great nutritional things for a reason. There's a reason why we have these fun foods. You know, like, don't make pizza healthy. Don't try to do this thing where it's like health pizza. Make just healthy pizza. We don't want it. We just want to eat pizza. If you're going to eat pizza, don't just go all the way. Don't try to substitute for like the midway to make you feel better. Just eat healthy, and then when you want a piece of pizza, just go eat the pizza. It's not that. I mean, it's not that deep. No, it is deep. It is deep. Get the fucking hole. Get the pizza. You know, like, if you're going to get a pizza and you're saying like, hey, and you get the keto, the cauliflower, you shouldn't be eating pizza. Okay? It's not that serious. It's not at all. Yeah. After eating that bagel, though, I was like, what a waste of money. I was like, I'm never coming back here again. Boycotted the bagel place. I like the cafe, the Blue Chip. If you go to UBC, it's kind of like it's in the Nest. It's like I don't know. You know, it's there. It's like really popular. They've got good coffee. They've got these good cookies that are good. It's great. It's like a UBC experience, going to a coffee shop. I know, crazy experience. My university life is riveting. It's enthralling. It's thrilling. It's exuberant. It's great. I'm just going to boycott. It's not even a boycott. It's just, I'm just not going to go get a bagel at 5 p.m. when they're out. I'm probably just going to go in the morning. Actually, no, I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back because they rationed on the scheme trees. They rationed on the cream cheese. Like, I had scurvy. That reference didn't make sense. But I don't get like getting ripped off. Like, I'm not going to boycott the entire place, but I'll tell myself like I'm like not going to order the bagel. I'll boycott the bagels. That's what I'll do. No more bagels from Blue Chip. No more bagels. If I'm spending that much money. There's no way. No. A lot of places piss me off. I don't give a lot of places second chances. Like, I give people second chances, but not like in restaurants or like cafes or places that serve food. I don't got time to give people second chances. Now, if you just piss me off, there's so many places that I won't go to now. Like, period. Or like, so many of them have happened recently too. Convenience store tried to rip me off. They tried to like upsell like I was buying something and it said like $2.50 and I took it to the counter and they charged me $4 for it. And I called them out. I was like, yo, fucking switch it. I see the price tag back there. You know, you're trying to rip me off, take advantage of me. You think I don't know the price? And I looked at it and I said, I'm never coming back here. Never. And then I left. I didn't pay for it. Yeah. It's kind of how the scenario played out in my head when I got home. And I was like, that's what I should have done. But what really happened was he upped the price. And I was like, And then I paid for it. Never going back again. I don't even know this place. I'll put it on black. I think it's called like City Convenience. Fuck that. No, I don't want to. Maybe. I don't actually know what the place is called. I honestly don't. But I'm never going. I'm not going back. And that's a justifiable reason to go back. But places will like up their prices and stuff. Like I'll go to a place and it'll be like $3 coffee, and then all of a sudden it'll be like $3.50, and it just leaves such a bad taste in your mouth. I can't handle it. And inflation feels like it's happening every single month. Every single month you go to a place and everything's like up their price by 10 cents. And they're like, it's just 10 cents. It's like, yeah, well, it's not just 10 cents if you're doing it every single month, right? If you do the math on that, that's $3 a year. No, it's okay. It's $1.20 a year. But, I was like, would it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if I just was like, it was funny if I got the math wrong. And I was like, no, it just makes me sound stupid. It's basic math. 10 cents times 12, $1.20. Listen, I passed 3rd grade. All right, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, no, I do boycott. I boycotted the pizza place beside my house, 2 convenience stores now in Vancouver, a fuck ton of cafes I've said I'd never go back to, the bagel place now. And I don't need to get into it. A lot of places. The main real boycott, like I've got one real one, and I got my wallet stolen from this convenience store. First day I moved to Gastown, I was in there, got my wallet stolen. It had like $300 on it. I was supposed to go on a trip the next day. I needed cash. It had some like sentimental stuff in there. They stole my wallet. I went back in, and someone stole my wallet in there. I went back in. I asked for to look at the security, and it's a story for a different. I mean, this is the place to tell these kind of things. Story for a different time. Where else am I gonna fucking tell it? I'm out of time though. Even though podcasts are supposed to be for an hour, I should tell the story though. Okay, yeah. Here, I'll tell it. Yeah. So the first day I moved down to Gastown, I just moved to my apartment. I was kind of like just exploring the area at night, and I was like, oh, sick! Like a convenient, like this will be my convenience store because it's like right beside my apartment and it's really close by. And so I went to the convenience store, and I got something, and I know it was stolen in there because I had an air tracker, and that's where I found the air tracker. They took it out and they put it in there, and it was also the only store that I went into. And I went back in there when I realized it was stolen because I looked at my phone. I was like trying to track it. Found my way back in there. I get inside and I'm like, hey man, can I see the security tapes? It's like, yeah, sure. And then these other people came in, and this is Gastown. There was like some, it's kind of like sketchy people in there. And this girl, I was really upset. I had a necklace in there that my girlfriend gave me, and I had lost a lot of money, and I was leaving at like 6 a.m. the next morning to go to Tofino. Whitest sentence I've ever said in my life. And yeah, I was supposed to go to Tofino to go surfing, and so I was pretty upset. Also, this was like the first day I moved into Gastown, so like new to the area, don't know my surroundings at all, and I'm upset. I lost this necklace that's really sentimental to me that was in my wallet. And so I was like, there's people in there, and they were like, I thought I was just asking. I was just like, hey, have you seen a wallet in here? And I was kind of like, I knew there was a lot of money in there, but I was like, I know there's money. Like, I don't need the money. Like, if anyone finds it, you can have the money in it and whatnot, and I'll give you money. Because I was like, if they already have the wallet, all right, they're not gonna give it back and keep the money. Like, you know what I mean? I was like trying to be like, I'll give you like, like $50 because I really needed my ID, everything like that. So these 2 people start like going through the store, which is my bad. Like, they're literally like looking behind bags of chips. They're like rummaging through the store, and the guy, like the bodega man, is like starts losing his shit at me. He's like yelling at me, like fully like yelling at me. He's like, what are you guys? What are you doing? You send these dogs loose on the store. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. That's not what I said. I said, oh, can you please just check the tapes, man? Please, I need my wallet. And then this girl comes in, and everyone's freaking out. And this girl starts yelling at me. She's like, what are you doing causing all this havoc? I was like, bitch, you don't even work here. Fucking get out of here. Or come in. It's public space. Do what you want. But then she, out of her pants, just fucking puts her hands down her pants, takes out a massive whip, and starts like an Indiana Jones long foot, like 10-foot leather whip. Gets out the convenience store, goes in the hallway, and says, you don't want to mess with me. And starts whipping the crack in the whip. Starts whipping the whip on the ground. Now the bodega man is losing his mind. He's like screaming. He's like, get out of here. I'm going to call the cops. And I was like, great, call the cops. My fucking wallet was stolen. Go ahead. Do it. Outside, this woman's whipping the whip, going absolutely bonkers and going crazy. And then she stops and she gets on a BMX bike and gets out of there, which is like the expected. It's expected. Yeah. And so then I was trying to find my air tag too. I couldn't find it in the store. I ended up finding it in the garbage. It was really sad. I was really upset. Immediately, I went outside and I like had to go through this garbage. It was like the most humiliating and like degrading experience of my entire life, to go through this like gross garbage. And I just like sat on the ground with this like garbage around me, really upset, and I just cried. I like lost all this money. I lost this necklace that meant a lot to me. I was like, fuck, I gotta leave tomorrow. And now I got nothing, no ID, no credit cards. Yeah. And now, I feel like I got this target on my back. Because I see this girl everywhere. She's everywhere. She's BMXing around. She's got pink hair, okay? If you see her, she BMXs. She's got pink hair. She will bring up the fact that she has a boyfriend, because she said that to me many times and said that he could beat me up. And I was like, yeah, I bet he fucking could. You obviously have eyes. Can you look at me? She's like, yeah, I've got a boyfriend. He'll beat you up. And then she started whipping. I was like, I'm pretty sure you could beat me up. Or you got a whip. Cracking that shit better than Indiana Jones. She was whipping that shit in the front of the store. Yeah, never going back there again. Fuck that place. One of the worst experiences of my entire life. Never going back. And the problem is, it's the only convenience store in my area that's open 24/7. It's also like the only convenience store that's like hyper clean and like super like well kept, and the prices are good. And I won't even walk inside. I'll walk by that place every single day, and it sucks because sometimes I need stuff and I just have to wait. I know. I just have to wait till the morning to go to the grocery store. What a crazy world and problematic world I live in, that I just gotta like wait an extra 7 hours instead of going to this place. No, but Bagels, it's cool. You know, you have like the convenience store, and I'm sure the guy is nice. I was just like letting these guys loose. I was like, everyone, my wallet looks like this. I'll give you $300. Go find it. It's in the store. Go crazy, guys. Literally go nuts. And I let them loose. You know, and I'm sure the whip didn't help either. Also, email me. There's my email in the description. Say something to me. I don't know. It's lonely out here. Alright. Bye!